friend of mine recently underwent a gait analysis, and the results she shared with me were truly eye-opening. It made me realize that this is a topic that is largely unknown to the general public, and the importance of understanding whether or not it's actually necessary. Many individuals are unknowingly spending their hard-earned money in the hopes of achieving instant and drastic changes in their running. Even after 2 months, my friend is still running with the defaulted gait. There are 5 essential factors that have to be considered before you even consider gait retraining. In this video, we'll delve into the 5 crucial aspects and shed light on what we would do if we were uncertain on a gait analysis. So let's begin by discussing the first of our 5 key points when it comes to a gait analysis.
Today, we're taking you through a 3D analysis with biomechanical markers to show you the value that you can get out of a biomechanical assessment. And then I have done a 2D analysis just using my eyes, which is typically what you'd get from a coach or if you were in a running store, so that we can see the difference and the pros and cons of having both of them done. What is really important to understand about a biomechanical analysis is, why do we want to do it? So people do it for 2 reasons, essentially to see how they can tweak their own biomechanics to improve their running form and to be better runners, and then to make sure that you are running in the correct equipment. Now, for me personally, making sure that you're running in the right shoes for you as an individual is probably one of the most important things you can do when you are running. Whether you are an experienced runner or not, very often injuries come from overuse in the incorrect equipment. And so to my mind, that is a very good place to spend your money. If you are doing biomechanical analysis to try and be a better runner or run faster, that is far more problematic. I have spent many years in my life trying to help runners improve their running form, improve their cadence, change the way they run. And the thing that I have seen over and over again is that under fatigue or under pressure, so in other words, when you are in a real dogfight or in a hard race or trying to chase a PB, we really do refer to type. And I'm going to touch a little bit why that happens right at the end of today's video. Right, so back to who should be doing and why we want to be doing it. It's really to make sure that we see what mistakes you are making, so that we can A, put you in the right equipment, and B, which is almost as important, is to equip you with the right strength exercises that will help you protect your body from the unique stresses that you are experiencing when you run, and that will allow you to get many more hours of enjoyment out of your running without breaking down with overuse injury. So moving on to what I saw in the 2D biomechanical analysis using my eyes, and we did walking and running barefoot, and then we also put Kirsten in the shoes that she runs in with the orthotics that she uses. So the first thing that I noticed with Kirsten is that she has externally rotated feet. Okay, so she is running in what we lay terms call duck feet, and that is literally a compensation or adaptation that Kirsten has made to the pressures that are coming through the inside of her foot, because she has very collapsed arches, very pronounced on the left foot. And so if you stand where you are now and stand on one leg and force all the pressure onto the inside of your foot, you will feel how your shin bone, your tibia, is almost starting to twist under the pressure, and there's nowhere for it to release when you are in your full stance phase of the run, and so it'll start to flick out. So this is a compensation that Kirsten has made over time to give herself some room and to reduce that spiral pressure that is running up the tibia. Okay, the shoes and the orthotic that she is using are doing a reasonably good job of helping to alleviate that pressure as she moves from her mid stance and rolls over to the toe. What it has done is created a late foot pronation, because pronation is part of our natural shock absorption, and it's where we go so that our big toes can act as our power levers when we push off the ground. So that is kind of where the feet are trying to go, and we diagnose overpronation when you pronate and roll and are coming off the shoe before you get to your big toe and are wearing the very inside or medial side of your shoe. Okay, so she has got a late foot pronation. Her orthotics, although they cause her blisters, and the combination of stability shoes are helping protect Kirsten. She is still getting that late foot pronation, which isn't ideal, but it's the lesser of two evils when it comes to Kirsten. She is also struggling with blisters with orthotics, so I have recommended she goes back to the podiatrist or orthotist just to try and shave those down a little bit so that we can reduce those blisters. And of course, when you are someone with Kirsten who has got that level of biomechanical deficiencies, then it is good to go out and get some external support. But very importantly, what Kirsten needs to do is to really strengthen her lower limbs to help protect her. And one of the downsides to her adaptation of externally rotating her feet is that as soon as she stops doing strength training, particularly in her glutes, they are going to deactivate and present as weak. And that is also a risk factor for placing a rotational stress on the tibia and exposing her to risk of things like shin splints and stress fractures, which she has suffered from in the past. So Kirsten will have to do strength training and specific strength training for her issues and take it like chronic medication so that she can do the races that she's targeting. Right, I promised that I would talk to you about why I believe that doing biomechanical analysis for purely performance purposes is flawed. The reality is that there's just about no human being that has been put together the same. We all have different length bones, width bones, size of the condylar surfaces where the bones run across each other. So the reality is we have all got very different ratios between tibia and femur, or lower leg and thigh bone, and the angles at which those come into each other differ between males and females, between females, between males. And so really we have got a lot of variation from person to person, and the way that our limbs move and adjust to make us the most efficient actually comes from what we call biofeedback. Feedback from you and your body while you're actively in the art of running. And therefore, as we run over time, the body is constantly tweaking and changing and fixing and adjusting in tiny ways that you don't even notice to help you be more efficient and to try and reduce the stresses that are going through the body that you have. So again, biomechanical analysis, great. I would encourage you to have one, but do it for the right reasons. To get in the right equipment, and very importantly, to make sure that you can get the right exercises to help you protect your body so you enjoy running more. In short, I know the right questions to ask. But if you are new to the science side of running or have less experience, you don't know what questions to ask to get the most benefit. What do? Well, you learn from the pros, of course. And that is how you keep leveling up. And to do that, you need to watch this video next. It's going to stop you from making the mistakes that are going to stop you from being the best runner that you can be.